The job of the forebrain was never to solve our problems. We can't expect something to happen from nothing. We can't expect the squirrel to fly and then get mad at the squirrel because it can't fly, right? That sounds silly. That sounds ridiculous. But in the last video, we discussed about how we think about ourselves. Once again, going at this is we're on like this is video 6 or 7. This is a 12-part mini series, so we got a lot more to cover, but it all intertwines, and I encourage you to stay with me. So the forebrain, our conscious thought, it was never supposed to solve problems. You need to think about it that way. So once we understand that, then you say, oh, okay, well, how do we solve problems? By your subconscious. Okay, that's what it was built for, to solve your problems. The goal-seeking mechanism, it was made to solve your problems. And 95% of brain activity happens in there. And most of it you're unaware of. The genius that people speak of, that, oh, you're a genius, you came up with this idea, happened under relaxation and no anxiety, and it originated from their subconscious. Okay, so we're going to be talking about that today. And starting off, so the job of the forebrain, conscious mind, it wasn't made to solve problems. It wasn't. It's made to be the programmer. Okay, that's it. That's why it's only given such a small aspect of our mind, our forebrain, our conscious thought, is because it's wild, it's dangerous, right? We could, if our entire environment was controlled by reaction, oh my gosh, I wouldn't be making this video right now. It would be so bad, right? It would be so bad. Imagine that you might consider yourself, you might associate anxiety with your self-image. You may say, I am an anxious person. Okay? You are an anxious person because you tell yourself you are. Long story short, getting back to the point, if you say that, let's imagine the forebrain had a lot more power than it actually did, and you're like, oh, I can solve problems now, negative. It's just going to be reactionary, and it's going to be terrible. It's just going to be pure. The only thing you're going to feel is pure emotion. And some people do feel that, unfortunately. And then we go into the topic of people labeling others with mental disorders and things of that nature. You are depressed, you are anxious, you are sad, you are these activities, you are these emotions. But always remember our candle, right? We're not the candle because we can see the candle, object, observation. So we're not any of those things, and we know that. So it's a good thing we have the subconscious, right? Because that's its job. Its job is to be the problem solver for us and for our lives. It controls so many other things in our life. It controls a vast number of bodily functions, a ton of bodily functions, and it's a problem solver. Okay? So I need you to imagine for a second that the programmer, your conscious mind, your forebrain, you're stuck there. And you're not letting the subconscious do its job. And you're wondering why you're so stuck on a math problem, or you're so stuck in life. Think about, let's use the math problem analogy. I feel like some of us could relate. Whether you be a rocket scientist listening to this or not, I am sure at some level of your education, no matter what it may be, grade school, what have you, that you probably struggled with a math problem at some point in your life. So let's argue you got some calculus in front of you, some Calc 2, and you're stressing out. Why are you stressing out? Because you're trying to do the impossible. What's the impossible? You're trying to solve the problem by brute force. Okay, it's silly, it's unrealistic. You're using your forebrain, your conscious abilities, to try and solve the problem. You bring to life what you bring focus to. You bring life to the things you focus to. You focus on. You bring life to the things that you focus on. And if you just try and focus on the math problem, you're just going to see numbers and lines. And you're not going to understand what's actually happening. Why there are numbers and lines. Okay? So you're trying to do the impossible, and your brain's giving you stress signals to be like, I can't do this, right? And I can't do this. So it's telling you that. It's trying to tell you that. You need to listen. Instead of you just stay there, because, right, we are given the gift of choice. Humans are given the gift of choice. So we have the gift of choice in every area in our life. We are given the gift of choice. So what are we going to do? Some of you will stay there and panic all night long and take an F on the exam the following morning. Okay? But some of you will understand and realize, I need a break from this. Okay? I'm sure some of you said that as well during your studies. You may have said, I need a break from this. And you step back. Okay, let's examine what happened so we can replicate, right? Because in order to determine success in our life, we need to replicate the good, forget the bad. So let's break this down. I'm sure this is something that you can relate to, a problem, a situation in your life. I'm just mentioning a math problem, but you say this is too much for me. I'm going to step away because I'm not getting anywhere. Valid reasoning. I would argue that's valid. Okay, what happens when you step away? Well, you stay in your some of you stay in your conscious, or in your forebrain, and you tell yourself, I cannot relax because this is unsolved. That math problem's unsolved, and I'm not going to relax, so I need to go back. I need to try. And you're just cramming your forebrain. You're just cramming it, and you're not getting anywhere. And you'll never get anywhere because it's not its job. It can't solve problems. But some of you will relax through, hopefully, safe methods. Some of you will relax, and the answer to the problem might come to you. When you completely relax and you consciously say, this is my goal, subconscious, do your thing. Chances are, if you sat in lecture and you absorbed the information, you actually paid attention, and you sat in lecture relaxed with an open mind, remember, this is a big deal, it's all interconnected. So we're trying to solve the math problem, but if you were in lecture stressing about things that you can't control, you're cramming your forebrain and not allowing your subconscious to work. I want you to think about it like this is your forebrain and this is your subconscious, and you're just here, right? You're blocking anything from taking place. When you relax, the forebrain lets go, and you just have your subconscious, and hi, I can do my job now, right? You need to let your mind work as opposed to trying to make it work, guys. And it's really that simple. It's really that easy. And you need to tell yourself that it's that easy. Because when you tell yourself it's that easy, you're going to realize how silly you've been. You might get a little upset at yourself, but it will strike polarity in your life. It will strike the yin and the yang, and you will find comfort in that, and you will win. You will win. And you need to tell yourself that, because if you tell yourself you won't win and you will get an F, you will do so. Remember all the other videos, guys. I encourage you to go watch them, get caught up to speed. What you tell yourself. You are the story that you tell yourself. You are the story that you tell yourself. Life is a story. You could think of life as a video game. There's input and feedback, and it's a never-ending cycle. So you need to think about it in that sense. You are the story that you tell yourself. Go into lecture every day saying, I know how to do this, even if you don't, because you need to act as somebody who does. I'm not saying you have to be verbally cocky or anything like that. You just need to embody the person that you wish to be, and your actions will flow from that. Somebody who knows how to do calculus, They're going to walk into the room, into the calculus room. It's not going to be a problem. They know it. They're a calculus person. They consider themselves to be a calculus person. Head up, shoulders back, not a big deal. We're going to go in, sit down, pay attention. We're going to walk out, and we're going to continue our day. And it's not going to bother us. Okay? That. Simple as that. So, we can't solve problems by our own conscious thought because that's not what it was made to do. So, that's when you ever find times in your life when you just give up on something. You have a goal set, a task in mind, and you just give up. And then you wonder, this is impossible. I'm just going to give up. I'm going to lay here and I'm going to let life pass me by. And then probably while you're relaxing, what comes to you? Probably a solution at some point. Probably an idea of some point. Probably some creativity may be flowing through that stage. Why? Because you've given up. You've let your forebrain, you've let your conscious mind sit down, tell them to relax, and now your subconscious can actually do its thing. It can actually do what it's meant to do. And use it for that. It can serve you, okay? Because if you bring your attention, if you bring your awareness to things that you need to learn, okay? So if I need to be in a relaxed state, and there are methods in doing so, and I discussed in past videos. I can't go over everything. It's all intertwined. If these videos would be an hour long. So understanding that what we bring alive what we bring our focus to, okay? So if I want to learn Spanish or something, I need to find a flow state. I need to relax and absorb the material. Say to myself, I will learn Spanish. I will learn Spanish. I will learn Spanish. Sit down without distractions, turn your phone off, put some noise-canceling headphones on. Don't listen to music. You can't do, the literature tells us that we literally can't do more than one thing at a time. So if you say you're a multitasker, you're lying. I'm sorry. And you can do multiple things, but you're definitely not going to be effective. Your focus is going to be obscured and blurred, and it's impossible. You are meant to focus on one thing at a time. Stop straining your brain. Stop feeding anxiety into your life. Relax, poise yourself, realize you are here, you are now, and there's nothing more you can do about that. There's nothing more you can do about that, right? You can't control what's in the future, and you can't control what's in the past. We can learn from the past, and we can look at the future and say, I would love to be financially successful. So you need to love the journey to get there. And the journey is loving every day. Okay? The journey is loving every day. If you don't take every day slowly and learn and absorb and build, you're just going to be crashing through life. And you're going to be wondering, probably in your 30s or 40s, where everything went wrong. And I don't want that for you. And if you happen to be in your 30s or 40s wondering where it all went wrong, I'm here with you now. Let's breathe together. Let's take a breath. And let's get after it, right? Because the same principle applies. Every second matters. You know now. And you can't feel guilty for what you didn't know. Because guilt is a learned behavior. Okay? We learned how to feel guilty. Yes, that's a fact. And, probably taught by our parents or in school, learned how to feel guilty about things in life. And we labeled ourselves as things growing up because that's what society told us. Because growing up, we didn't have the conscious mind. It was all just the subconscious. From 0 to 7, I believe, it's all just your subconscious, and it's just instant. It's just instant installation. Everything that hits it, everything you see, all your environment stuff, it just hits it and clings onto it, and then you just build this. You build yourself. You build your subconscious mind. And then when you grow older, like I'm 23, for example, my brain will stop growing around 25, 26, something like that. And then that's my foundation, right? But I'm trying to wake up before then, because it's really critical that you hit the ground running. You hit the ground running. And that's the same for all of us. So you need to draw your focus away from your subconscious. Draw your focus away from trying to solve the problem, and you'll discover that something happens. When you draw your focus away from the problem and you do something that needs to happen, you do something that needs attention, like showering, shaving, some driving. Sometimes lots of people like driving. They say, I need to go take my drive, right? Why do you need to take your drive? Because it takes your forebrain out of the equation. Okay? We need to understand that, because you're not crazy. Man controls machine. Okay? You're not machine, you're a man that controls a machine. You need to know how the machine works in order to be effective. Right? That's all I'm saying. So you say, I need to take a drive. What you're doing, you know what you need to do. You're just not listening to yourself. And you're not listening to yourself. You know when you need to take a drive, but listen to what your brain is telling you on the drive. Sometimes we just blast music and while we're driving, and we just want to zone out completely. We want to get lost in the sauce, right? We don't want to think about anything. We want to be numb. But that's not a way of learning. We're not progressing then. We're just exacerbating our current situation, our current problem, which is really bad. It's a really bad behavior, because then we're teaching our brain that our current state of emotional distress is okay, and this is where we want to stay, which is not. I hope you don't want to stay. We're here to get happy. We're here to be, we're here for success, right? We're here to make the world a better place. We're here to make ourselves a better place first. So what you're doing when you go on that drive, when you shave, when you're in the shower, what have you, you're taking your conscious forebrain out of the equation, and then you're left with your subconscious. And because it takes a little bit of effort to understand how to drive properly. I hope you're zeroed in on the road, and I hope that you're driving safely. And in order to do that, you need just a little bit of focus. Not a horrendous amount of focus. You need some good focus. You just need some good focus. And it's to the point where you're not absorbing yourself with stress. Because in your mind, you say, okay, if I just keep myself in my lane, I'm going to be all right. Right? If you just keep yourself in a certain distance between everything around you and you stay where you're supposed to be, you're going to be okay. You know that system. That system is familiar with you. It's built into your brain. You don't have to think about it that hard. But you've done it over and over. It's created a system, so you know how to do it. Everything is a system. More on that later, but think about that. So you do that to take your forebrain out of the equation, and then what are you left with? You're sitting in a cool, dark place, just your subconscious. And it's literally a perfect scenario to let your subconscious go to work. It's literally a perfect scenario to let your subconscious go to work. Now, and it can actually solve your problems. You'll be driving, you'll be like, oh, that's great. You might even talk to yourself while you drive, because your subconscious is trying to figure out the problems in your life for you. And it's like, oh my gosh, why aren't you doing this all the time? You can be in a relaxed state at all times, knowing that your subconscious has got it. Okay? It's got it. Give it the problem, relax, and it'll come to you. Okay? There's no reason to be anxious about anything ever. Because if you showing anxiousness is anticipation of the past or the future. Okay? Anxiousness is anticipation, longing for, or worryingness of the past or the future. Neither one of those things can hurt you. Okay? Neither one of those things can hurt you. Right now, neither one of those things can hurt you. You are here, you are now. And if you don't try your hardest right now, you're never going to get anywhere. And you need to accept that, because you gotta dig in. At some point in life, you gotta dig in, and you gotta say, enough is enough. I need to learn. I need to increase my skills so that I can progress in life. At some point, you have to tell yourself that. Okay? So, continuing on here, letting your subconscious do itself a favor. Letting it take the load of your stress, of your anxiety. Do not associate with the negative thoughts and feelings in your life. Associate with the positive things. Relax. Think of a calming time. Remember in one of our last videos, write down, journaling, write down. I should do a video about journaling. Write down all of the things, happy moments, happy memories. Okay? I can tell you right now, I have a happy memory of kind of sitting by plants and flowers. There's like a waterfall, and nobody was around. It was a dark, cool place, and I probably could have read 15 books there. I probably could have just sat there, and I wanted to be in thought. I didn't want to worry about anything. I wanted to be in thought. And helpful, the plus side bonus tip right here. This is not a part of the video. This is going in the video, but just side tip. If you haven't heard of it, brown noise and frequencies, like 528 hertz, for example, you could start there. But sometimes if you need ground zero to go from, if you're so tense, if you're so anxious that you can't even think about going to shave or going to relax, I hope that you can remember, you can go like put your headphones on and turn on some brown noise and just sit there. Don't take them off, just listen. Just sit there and listen. Okay? Eventually, after about 10 minutes or so, you'll start to relax. You'll start to relax. Okay? So that's helping me. That's just a personal tip. I hope it helps you as well. So focusing on today, focusing on now, focusing on the things you can control, and the things you focus on, you bring to life. Okay? You are the story that you tell yourself. Let your subconscious work. That's its job, and it can only work while you are in a relaxed state. Some of the greatest minds in this world made the best inventions by taking naps throughout the day, because they would initiate the problem, they would install the problem into the subconscious, and then they would relax, release, and say, all right, I'm gonna go relax, because that's the only way to initiate the subconscious mechanism. And it's going to go find the goal for me, and it's going to give me an idea. It's going to give me a launching platform that I can go off of in order to reach this goal or attain this goal that I have just given it. Remember, it is a machine. It will only do what you tell it to. And all of this is inhibited if we try to forcefully work our subconscious mind. We can't forcefully work it. That can't happen. It's subconscious. It's below our conscious. We don't know what it's doing. It's a scary thing. But at the same time, if you feed it good things will come from it, because it's only going to know good things. It's only a mechanism, right? It's only a mechanism. Good things will come from it if you feed it good things, right? If you don't feed your plant and you give it crap, it's not going to grow very well, right? So same thing with you. You're a living organism. You're a living being. Treat yourself as such. Why are you treating yourself poorly? What did your body do to you? Okay? What did your mind do to you? Why are you treating yourself poorly? You need to treat yourself as somebody that you are responsible for. And I truly believe that. Treat yourself as somebody that you are responsible for. Because if you can't ground yourself in believing that you are special, that you are beautiful, which you are, then you need to consider yourself as somebody that you need to care for, in which you are. And going back to the subconscious, all of those things are inhibited by your conscious effort. It blocks your subconscious, and when you try to do things that is not meant to happen, for example, forcefully solving a calculus problem with your forebrain, probably isn't going to go well for you. You're going to get anxious, you're going to get stressed if you can't figure it out. Okay? It's a system, so if you repeat the system just like driving, you're going to learn the system, and the problem's going to come to you like that. Okay, that's learning. That's the learning process. It's great. It's really cool. The learning process is really great, but we need to understand how it works in order to utilize it. So all of that is inhibited by stressing out and focusing too much on the problem and not relaxing while we just absorb the information. Let it flow through you. Romanticize the work a little bit, guys. Just allow the energy to come through to you and just go straight to your subconscious. And it's going to give you the answer. Okay, it's going to give you the answer. And you can't, I'm going to wrap up the video right now. You can't make your subconscious work. You can only let it work. Okay? Let it do its job, which is solving problems in your life. All of your problems. Give it all your problems. Give your subconscious all your problems right now. Just say, okay, I am done. Here you go. And it's gonna solve them for you. Only if your conscious mind, your forebrain, is feeding appropriate information to solve the problems. Okay? You can't just say, I want to be a millionaire, subconscious, go at it, and I'm going to go take a nap for 30 days, and I'm going to wake up with all of the ideas of how to be a millionaire. No, that's not going to happen. You need to set the goal, enjoy the journey, and strive every day, every second, right now, to be the best person that you can be. Because why not? You have this life one time, and it is an absolute miracle that you are breathing and living on this earth right now. If you breathe oxygen, you have a chance. So what are you waiting on? Seriously, what are you waiting on? All right, guys, I'm going to wrap up the video. Love you guys. Appreciate everything. If you like the video, leave a like. If you want to subscribe to the channel, subscribe. If you want more videos like this, let me know in the comments. Please, 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 I always say, share the video because this information is increasing awareness, and that's what we're all about here. And people really do need to hear this stuff. I try to keep everything on a monotone level, just flat, simple topics. You don't have to take what I say as factual information, but I do just attempt to increase your awareness to things. And I'm just sharing my life story. So appreciate you guys. See y'all in the next one. Bye.